Welcome to episode 13 of Views from a Business Leader. In this episode, we talk to Andre Vaux, who is the co-founder and MD of claireLOGIC. So, good morning, Andre, and thank you very much for joining us this morning on the Views from a Business Leader.
Good morning. Very nice to be here.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The sun's shining this morning, which is great, and I noted a little guitar in the corner. I guess we've talked that you're a little bit of a sort of a musician and enjoy that in your spare time.
That's a very generous comment. Yes, I dabble in instruments. So yeah, piano being the main one. But
yeah, but your game is technology, and that's where you are. So I don't know if you want to start just by telling the viewers sort of who you are and what you do. Would be great.
Yeah, so I'm managing director of claireLOGIC. We're a managed service provider. So companies outsource their IT to claireLOGIC. We become their IT department. And so, anything from, a person calling up with a problem on Excel or increasingly Teams or Zoom, we can help fix it remotely. And we also, go into offices under normal circumstances, and have an on-site presence as well.
Yeah, sure. So I guess from sort of obviously the current situation, has your sort of, I guess you've never been busier in that sense.
That's right. Yeah, we've had the last sort of two to 3 months have just been insanely busy. Lots of companies that we support have started, essentially changed their business continuity plans. So historically, they may have had 100 staff, and they've organised for 10 people to work in an emergency.
Yeah.
Whereas basically that's gone from 10 to the 100. So lots of supplying equipment, laptops, etc., to get people working remotely. Got lots of customers with team at home that also have desk phones and stuff, just to make the environment as bearable or as actually comfortable as you can, really.
Yeah.
It's been a massive change for people. So trying to get people as comfortable as possible is really important, and also sort of teaching them how to use things like Slack and Teams, etc. more, even down to things like using emojis or whatever, and wherever possible, video calling.
Yes, absolutely.
That's been a big thing. Although it doesn't always work out the way you think it does. Well, because you have a video call. Internally we have sort of one-to-one catch-ups with people very regularly, but they tend to take a lot longer now.
Yes.
Because you're not only asking them how are you doing, have you got everything you need, is work okay or whatever, but now you're incorporating that kind of water cooler chat that you used to have. So you kind of you might have been wandering around the office grabbing some fruit or whatever, and you have a chat to someone, and how's your weekend, have you fixed your car, or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
And so now you end up doing that in a sort of one-to-one catch-up as well. So they kind of double in length. So it's very easy to spend all day just on video calls, which is great. But I think that personally, I'm starting to mix and match it up a bit more now. So it's like I had a catch-up with a guy yesterday and just decided to use mobile phone, so I could have a headset and just wander around the garden.
Yeah, so that's good advice actually, because it does get intense, the video all the time, and yeah, absolutely. So from your own clients that you're servicing at the moment, obviously that their needs have ramped up. How are they? I guess you speak to a number of other sort of business owners, directors, etc., with their requirement. How's business been for them sort of during this time? Are you finding sort of some, depending I guess on the industries that they work within, are some sort of doing well and some not so well?
Yeah, we've seen a real mix really. Some clients have also been busy. You've got some clients that have unfortunately had to furlough staff, and they've retained all their staff, but they've just got quieter. A real mix really. But it's just about sort of being there sort of supportively and strategically, and helping them with their sort of longer term, the longer term business goals or business survival, depending on the client.
Yeah, 100%. It's sometimes, yeah, I think it is sometimes, certainly for many businesses, it is survival at the moment. I guess, have you used yourself any of the sort of the business loans that have had to sort of the government are offering, or any of the other government sort of incentives that they're putting out there for businesses?
No, we've not had to do that currently. I mean, how things will look in, a month or two's time, you just don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've not really made any changes. We've been, we've been busy, so we've been, it's just been business as usual really for us.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
Part of our business continuity plan already included working from home, so all the team already took their laptops home and stuff. So so the only problems we really faced when people started working from home was, I've lost my Bluetooth headset, or whatever. So it's like, okay, well, go and order one. And it's pretty much been working as normal, really.
You mentioned earlier about habits changing and sort of using the mobile phone and sort of having to wander around, which I think is really, really, really good. Do you think habits have going to change sort of moving forward, just in general, in terms of how business is done from an IT infrastructure technology?
I think it's a great question. I think people will be more looking to sort of loosen the cord from the office where they can. I mean, not all businesses can. There are businesses that are sort of established today that are kind of born in the cloud, and so all their services, phone systems, email, etc., is all cloud-based. But there are large businesses that we look after that, for whatever reason, whether it's something to do with rules around finance or whatever, they have to keep some stuff on site or whatever. So some businesses, I think, will be looking to get rid of the tin in the office and just be fully cloud-based, with cloud phone systems, etc. I do think there'll be a shift. Yeah. And in terms of how business is done, I don't know. I think a big amount of business is really still on face-to-face, and about personal relationships and liking somebody. And I think that's harder to do, even via video call, if you've never met them before. I've seen quite a lot of posts on LinkedIn actually about people hiring and stuff. And while I think it's quite interesting, but it's not something I would do. I'd always want to have some, face-to-face time with them, and as part of our interview process is, going and having a game of pool with them. We've got a pool table in the office, and just seeing how people are in different environments, really. And you can't do that with a video call.
No, exactly. Yeah, and I guess they could have almost like a script that you can't see, that they're just reading off, basically. Yeah. They wouldn't.
My auto prompt talking to you now. Yeah.
Very good. I guess from the expansion of people working from home, I know that you look in and look after security, internet security, for many of your clients. Have you seen a sort of spike in that? Because I guess where people work from home, they might be a bit more vulnerable, and they might get calls or emails that they might click on that they wouldn't have normally, if that makes sense, because they're sort of more alert, maybe in the office. I don't know if that's a true statement or not, but I was mulling over our discussions and thinking, actually, has the security side sort of ramped up, and have you seen a spike in issues?
The short answer is no. I mean, with all the sort of the system changes we've done, the main thing is not to rush it, because it's very easy to cut corners, and then yes, that will give you problems later. So typically the majority of people that we've enabled for home working, they have a laptop that's managed by the organisation. It's not there are some people using home computers to connect, but they connect in a certain way, which means that essentially the home environment and the work environment are separated. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I think probably we haven't seen too much of it yet, but I think there's probably an increase in sort of shadow IT, where somebody who works in, I don't know, accounts or something, they can't get their spreadsheet to work at home properly. So they're, perhaps they're putting it into their own personal Dropbox or something. That's one thing we've got to be really aware of at the moment, because, people find, people will find their own solutions, and they're not always the right solutions. But generally speaking, because of the way we set things up, the security and stuff is, we use a sort of layered security approach. So we don't just, install antivirus on a computer. There's antivirus sort of on the network, antivirus in the cloud for email or whatever. So it really reduces reduces the risk of there being any problems, really.
No, that's good. So from you're MD of an IT business, and how do you at the moment plan? Are you planning, or is it literally you are just in the mire and sort of dealing with what is in front of you on a day-to-day basis, or are you able to plan for the future in terms of gaining new business, networking, and how are you sort of tackling that sort of side of things?
Another great question. I guess we're all in an unknown at the moment. So we had a sort of a board planning session a few months ago, and we've had to revisit that in subsequent Zoom board meetings, because the growth that we thought we would get, we were having to relook at it and say, well, actually, we could be in lockdown until September or October. The chance of taking on new business is lower at the moment, because people stick with what they know. The chance of face-to-face meetings is, you can't at the moment. So that we are still planning, but we're kind of constantly reviewing our plans at the moment, and budgets going forwards. And and even on sort of the operational side, we're still looking at we have we're quite good as a team, because we have regular updates together, where we're looking at what the workload is and stuff, and going through, we have these huddles where we go through stuff to make sure nobody's doing the same work twice, or can anyone help with this or whatever. So that all that kind of stuff is still happening. So that helps with the sort of really short-term stuff as well.
Right. Okay. And you mentioned there about sort of huddles and communicating obviously on a regular basis, and you've got a pool table in your office, so you've got to be a pretty dynamic company to have one of those. Well, we haven't. But just in terms of like how you do communicate as a company wide, and sort of looking after employees' well-being and how they're feeling, how's that structured within the organisation?
So we have, normally we have sort of one-to-ones every week or every 2 weeks, but because the whole sort of timing of the business has changed really. So we're trying to sort of have one-to-ones with people every few days really, and just check in with people, and it's about making sure people are comfortable as well. So we've had issues with like people thought they had a really nice chair at home, and then when they sit in it for 7-8 hours a day, they suddenly realize it's not a really nice chair. So been sending out chairs or desk phones or whatever. It's just about making people feel comfortable, and I think most of the team have collected more monitors and that, so they've got multi-monitor at home, just to be comfortable really. And then we've been checking in with them, making sure they're okay, and also doing things like weekly quizzes.
Okay.
So we've been doing that kind of stuff as well, trying different things.
How many have you got in the organisation in total? How many?
We've got about 17 team members at the moment. Okay.
So it's manageable to do a good quiz.
It is, yeah. As long as I guess the thing is when you're doing, say, if everybody brings 5 questions, that is quite a long quiz. So it's better for everybody to bring 3 questions or something like that.
But there's one thing's for sure after this lockdown, that lots of people will be far more knowledgeable on general knowledge, I think.
That's right. Yeah.
Do you have any sort of advice that you would give to other sort of business owners, sort of that you've experienced, that you sort of pass on?
Well, we're still kind of experiencing it at the moment. We don't know how far we are through lockdown. We've had a few clients sort of, that we've advised in the past to, say for example, purchase laptops instead of desktop computers, because laptops give you more flexibility. You can work from home or whatever. I've had discussions with a few business owners recently that said actually you were right. That's actually a better long-term plan, because it gives you more flexibility, and especially something like a worldwide pandemic. Having laptops is it's been really useful. I think businesses will come out of this time, thinking, being more agile. Whether it's looking at different types of technology that is cloud-based, phone systems that work at home, that kind of stuff. It's difficult to tell. It will be really interesting to, I'll be certainly, when it comes to New Year's Eve, and sort of looking back as you do when you think about what do you want to achieve for the next year, and how good or bad has 2020 been. It'll be quite an interesting time of reflection.
There's
always some things you can do better. And I'm sure the government are realizing that at the moment. But
I think they're damned if they do, damned if they don't know. That's the problem in this sort of situation. In terms of your working environment, it'd be interesting to understand. So you've got 17 people. You've obviously got a bit of space in terms of for them. Do you think that's sort of going to change for you in terms of, because I know a lot of businesses are looking to what they were looking to extend before lockdown. Now they're actually looking to retract, because people are so, becoming so converted to working from home, then they actually probably don't need as much office space as they once thought. So is that something that you're considering, or?
I have seen that, yes. It wouldn't be something that we would be looking at. I mean, we're quite flexible, with our team in terms of, if you need to work from home because, you're getting a dishwasher delivered or whatever, it's not a problem. But it's not usually a regular thing, because, we've worked really hard on sort of team culture over the last few years. We've got a great team, we have a lot of fun at work. We do work as well. But it's I think people, we're a people business, people interaction, and I think that you can't really beat being in the office. So it's not something we would change. We may be more flexible in future, but we wouldn't be looking at downsizing office space or anything like that. We actually had an office refurbishment sort of late last year, so it's kind of a pity at the moment that we can't be sat in a really nice office.
So you definitely got to get back to make sure you get a return on that investment that you made.
That's right, yeah. I went into the office the other day just to, water the plants and check everything was okay. And I kind of thought, it's a real pity we're not here at the moment.
So Andre, we've heard some great stories, and I've heard some great stories of businesses that have really sort of stepped up to the plate and are doing things now together that they never had done before. Is that how it is with claireLOGIC in terms of how your sort of camaraderie and your togetherness is, or?
Yes, I think so. I mean, we've always had a great team culture. We've always been an agile business, sort of doing whatever it takes really to get what the client needs. And I'm really sort of proud over the last few months, because the team has yet done it again. Our workload kind of sort of increased threefold at one point. There was a lot on, and the team managed it really well. And actually that sort of bore out in the the feedback that we got from the clients. So we always ask for feedback, and sort of over the last sort of 2 or 3 months, I think it is, we're sat at 100% excellence.
Wow.
So people, when we perform a piece of work and we finish it, they get an email say, would you like to rate the work? Yes, and we publish those stats on the website live. We don't tinker with them or anything. And we've been sat at 100%, and I think 100% through this time when the workload has been so high. I think speaks volumes about the team that we've got. It's all about people at the end of the day.
Yeah, massively. I think you're absolutely hit the nail on the head there. I think it is about people, and it's lovely to thank you for your time today, because it's nice to speak to a business owner that is very positive, and that you're obviously embracing what is in front of you, and claireLOGIC are obviously stepping up to the plate as a business, and servicing companies when they need it most. In these times, in making sure that their infrastructure is, and home life is as good as it can be in terms of during these troubled times.
No worries. So, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, well, thank you very much. It really is. As I said, I know you're really busy, so I do appreciate your time this morning.
No worries. All right, take care.
Thanks, Andre. Bye bye.
Bye bye.